Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Peninsulas. As you can see from the photo, it is still very cold in Michigan, but I would like to point out that in Florida, 51 degrees and overcast and rainy, it's really cold for us. So we are just trying to survive down here with our thin skins. But today I also want to try a different format like Shannon did in her earlier video, where I just talk to you as I'm recording what I'm doing so that you guys can see and follow along maybe a little bit better instead of doing a voiceover the entire time. So let us know what you think of the new format, if you like it better. We'll just give it a whirl this time and see how it goes. Today I will just be talking about companion planting with a small tangent for dearly departed pets. And then I go on to talk about some goat hoof trimming and a follow-up with Hank regarding his feet. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get to it. Hey folks, we're back for another video here, and today I'm just going to be trimming back this lantana bush. This lantana bush was planted 3 years ago. It was a housewarming gift for me when I moved in here. And as you can see, it is quite large. And you can imagine before the frost, it was very bushy and covered in flowers. You can even see here kind of the remnants of the flowers and the little seed pods. So it's a little bit sad, but this is typical for a lantana bush in the winter. It's going to look dead for a while, but then it will come back nicely in the spring. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So now this particular plot right here is just a little square that I put this bush in the center of. And I planted it here because I had a very dear cat. Her name was Squishy. I had her for 9 years, and she ended up passing away from a very rare and incurable brain fungus. I still don't know how she got it. And she was one of those animals in life that well, I believe that God brings certain people into our lives at certain times for certain reasons. And I think sometimes the same is true of animals. That's probably a controversial opinion, but I think that God knew I needed her at the time that I had her. During those years, my life was very up and down, and more of a struggle than anything, but I just felt very close to her. I've always had cats, dogs, all kinds of animals, but there was something special about Squishy. And to this day, I think of her all the time, and I miss her a lot. She died a couple years ago at this point. So anyway, this is a shout out to Squishy and everything that she helped me get through in my life. And then more recently, I had a sweet little baby goat that ended up getting really sick and dying, and I only had her a week, but in that week, we were all very attached to her. Her name was Letty, and she is also buried on this plot. So you can see here Squishy's little headstone that needs cleaning. Her full name was Amelia Fern, but I never called her that. So I'll need to clean that up now that it's winter and everything's died back. But so yeah, that's the story for this lantana bush and why it's here. But while we're out here, I thought it would be fun to talk a little bit about companion planting. Companion planting is one of the things that I really am interested in and enjoy trying to experiment. I have a hard time remembering what likes to go with what, because there are different reasons that plants become companions. Sometimes, for example, carrots do well being planted with lettuce, and the reason is carrot is a root crop. It goes deep and sucks out nutrients from deeper in the ground. Lettuce has very shallow roots, so you can easily plant lettuce around your carrots. They don't compete for nutrients because they have different needs. So sometimes that can mean that just because they don't compete with each other, they make good companion plants. Other reasons for plants enjoying different company is because they might attract insects that are good for one plant. They might deter bad insects from certain plants, and so they work well together. So it's just, and then even some varieties of plants will put nutrients in the ground that other plants like, so it makes them more healthy. So there's several different reasons to do companion planting, and each plant likes something different. So it's pretty fun to do research on that and try to figure it out. So lantanas, for example, it's not a food producing plant, it's just got flowers that the pollinators really like. And so you can plant things with lantana, such as salvia, does really well. Marigolds does pretty well. And they are good companion plants because they like the same conditions. So lantana likes kind of a drier ground, more of a desert-like feel, and lots of sun. And so those other plants, salvia, marigolds, petunias even, I think, they also like the same conditions. They like to be dry, they like a lot of sun, and so they do really well in the same bed. But that's not a case of, competing for nutrients or anything like that. But when you go to plant your vegetable garden, I highly recommend whatever you want to plant, just look up what kind of companion plants they like, and you can really boost your garden's health by allowing plants to work together. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. I'm not going to chop it all the way down to the nubbins. These sticks will kind of dry out, but it will protect its root system in the middle. And it should bud out nicely in the spring. Alright, here we are with one of those farm tours that comes around every 4 weeks or so. I have to trim Wendy's hooves. So step one with this process, get your goat, properly restrain your goat. I don't put the halter on her very often, but I do for this because otherwise she just jumps all around, slings her head everywhere, and it's hard to get the job done. So I just have one of these little slip halters on her, and it typically works fairly well. So I'm just going to start trimming these feet. What you will need is a pair of goat hoof shears. They sell them at farm stores usually. And these ones aren't the best. As you can see, they already got a little bit rusty. And I haven't left them out at all. They've always been in the shed. So I do think that they make better brands, but here we are. This is what we're working with. So, okay. So what you want to do is go ahead and take a look at the bottom of the foot. And this is all padding here. Now there isn't, you can trim this part if you need to. Some will grow really high. And you can trim it down, just not too much, because there is blood supply deeper in there, so you don't want to hit that. But she really doesn't need much trimming there. There's a little bit of a point there that I can take off, just like that. But for the most part, they're smooth and not growing out of control. So the main part we want to look at is the toe area. I'm just cleaning out a little bit of gunk in there. So these are the walls of the hoof. And these are what you want to trim down even with the base of the foot, so that they don't grow and curl under. Just like that. Hers really aren't bad. And then you can trim the inner wall as well. And then the same thing on this side. Now it looks like she might have just a little bit of either, I don't know if she's got a little bit of fungus in this hoof wall right here, or if she just knocked it on something and it's growing funky right there. But I just kind of trim away whatever is excess sticking up, and now they're smooth with the base of the foot, and she'll be able to stand properly without the wall folding in underneath her foot. So that's really all there is to it for this one. Now we move to the back. All right, I'll just clean out a little bit of mud here. So these are just a little bit longer at the toe. You can see here it's growing up. This white part is the base of the foot. So we will just want to trim this down even with the base of the foot, like so. You don't want to go cutting off the tip of the toe or anything like that. It's really not necessary. You just want to keep the foot as even as possible all the way down. And then again over here. Inside first. When you clear out the dirt, you can see how far up it's grown. So you just want to trim it down. Like so. So that it's smooth with the base of the foot. Here we are again with Hank. And I just wanted to show you guys what his feet look like after having the farrier come. So they'll look a little bit different, and then we're just going to check on the thrush as well. The farrier suggested a thrush solution that's called Groom's Hand, or that's the brand of it, Groom's Hand. So I ordered some of that as well. The iodine can work, but it can take a long time. And it's maybe not as potent as some of the solutions that they have out there for them. So I asked the farrier about what I should do for his thrush, and he suggested that. So we'll be trying that once that arrives in the mail. But we'll go ahead and just take a look at this foot that we were working on before. It is a cold, muddy day today, so we're out here in the weather, just trying to get all the farm chores done and all the animals squared away. And I just wanted to check on this foot and see. His other feet don't have thrush. It's just this one that we're working on, so the other ones are looking pretty good. Go ahead and try to get all this mud out. So here again you can see the thrush is eating away at the frog. There's this trench in here. Try to get some of this cleared out. I did want to point out here that I have a friend who taught me a lot about caring for hooves, and he gave me an iodine solution that had something else added to it. I don't quite remember what it was, and that is the best thrush killing solution I've ever had. I had it last year, and the thrush cleared up really quickly and was just gone. So I need to get with him and figure out what that was that he added to the iodine. So once I figure that out, I'll let you guys know as well. But yeah, so for now we'll just try the spray that the farrier suggested. So you can see here, He doesn't have all that toe growing up around here, so he got all that nice and trimmed back down to the base of his foot here. And then the frog is this part here, and you can see it's eaten away down here kind of at the base. Now this little indentation right here is normal. They normally have a little indentation here, and then this would be smooth growing forward. So the thrush has eaten away kind of this whole area here. But it is looking better. So you can see the remnants of what the farrier put on there. It's this purple stuff. That's the thrush solution that he sprayed. And that's really good. You can see that it's still on there, it's still working. And then the farrier trimmed away a lot of the dead tissue here so that it can breathe. So this is the area that we'll be treating going forward. And then as the thrush gets out of there, the frog will begin to heal and it will become smooth all the way down again. So we are making progress, but I just wanted to show you what a freshly trimmed hoof looks like. It's nice and flush with the base of the foot here, and then the frog is the area that we're working on. Well folks, that's about all I had for this video. There's nothing like slogging through the cold, wet, boggy ground to feed your critters. If you're having this kind of mucky weather wherever you are, never fear, you're not alone. Let me know if you like this new format, if you thought it worked a little bit better. I might try it again going forward just to kind of test and see. But as always, if you have questions or comments, feel free to leave them. And we will catch you in the next one.